If you go to the ICU, you expect a doctor to be there, but that wasn't the case for a dental student whose life ended while in the ICU under the care of a remote teledoctor. It's technology that's already being used in intensive care units across the country, including right here in the Chicago area. But some patients may not know that they're being cared for by a teleprovider until after they're admitted into the ICU. Now, consumer investigator PJ Randhawa tonight shares the questions you need to ask before your next visit to the hospital.
Summer 2024, dental student Connor Hilton was in bad shape, suffering from pancreatitis and alcohol withdrawal symptoms.
The whole plan was just to admit him to the floor to rehydrate him.
Connor was treated in the ER at this Bridgeport, Connecticut hospital, later transferred to the intensive care unit. Once in the ICU, Connor's dad, William, says there was no doctor to be found. Instead,
about 10 feet away from Connor's feet, it was a screen, and there was someone on the screen basically running the show, telling everyone what to do.
Less than 18 hours after arriving at the hospital, he began seizing and became unresponsive. Connor's final moments overseen by a remote doctor watching on a monitor.
At 6:12, he called, he pronounced my son like that.
Even though Connor was in the ICU, among the sickest of patients, a new lawsuit claims Connor never saw a doctor in the ICU until he went into cardiac arrest and died an hour later.
I would have never allowed him to go to an unmanned ICU.
An investigation conducted by the Connecticut Department of Health found the hospital failed to ensure a physician was assigned to care for Connor. And when a doctor was eventually called, the report states he did not know how to get to the ICU. Hilton family attorney Joel Faxon.
The only way you can receive intensive care is if there's a doctor there. So that's why I've called this a fake ICU.
The hospital previously told NBC News Yale New Haven Health is aware of this lawsuit and is committed to providing the safest and highest quality of care possible. However, we are unable to comment on pending litigation. But ICUs around the country, including in Illinois, are using telehealth to fill crucial gaps, a trend experts say is growing. A pioneer of telecritical care, Dr. Michael Reese says tele-ICUs can give rural patients fast access to specialists, including intensivists, doctors trained to treat the most critically ill. And he estimates that up to 20% of ICUs already use remote providers.
It also increases their ability to staff nighttime because, rather than have to come in and work 12 hours overnight in the tele-ICU, that's a burden, too.
NBC5 Response found that Advocate and Northwestern hospitals also use remote physicians in their ICUs. However, representatives and experts from both systems say their ICUs are still staffed with in-person doctors and that remote physicians are used mainly for second opinions in their rural locations. All things William alleges never happened for his son during his treatment at Bridgeport Hospital in Connecticut.
It's called intensive care for a reason. Like, you can't reach out through the screen. Sometimes you need to touch patients. You need to be able to see what's going on. You can't do everything remote.
Now, if you or a loved one are going to receive care in an ICU, you should ask if your doctor will be treating you via telehealth. Also, find out who will be physically in the unit, especially during those overnight hours when staffing can thin out. Now, studies about the use of tele-ICUs are mixed, with some reporting the tech can improve outcomes. But there are no industry-wide regulations governing this, so the implementation, reliability, and quality of these programs can vary across hospitals. Allison, back to you.
Thank you for that eye-opening information, PJ.